So thank you everybody for joining and listening to live to JJ Chronic on Kick the Media. This is JJ What's Up, episode 1. Yes, a new podcast series on Kick the Media. So today we're going to talk about a couple different things. We're going to talk about cannabis. We're going to talk about recovery. Just because we're all relatively in that time frame. I'm using a new software myself to try to get used to how to navigate this. I did have anticipations for a guest to be on. But personal life gets a hold of people. So I'm about to be smoking on some cannabis products over here, which I just got all over my phone. Gotta love getting dabs on your phone that you can't really do much until it cools off. There's a nice big dab right there. Anyways, so I can't even search up things now. It's like melting the plastic. So there was a news article I did want to talk about. Let's see if I can pull it up here. The Windsor Star. So I really was going to do this once when my meds actually did come in because I'm running low on them. And been in a lot of kind of pain, you guys, not going to lie. Ooh, the D's. There we go. Let's see if I can scrape up this resin. Oh, look, it's actually coming up pretty nice, surprisingly. Right off the screen protector. Grass screen protector, guys. Oh, it's so sticky. Okay, there we go. So if you guys didn't know, earlier Trudeau visit was in Windsor to hit local Liberals elections. Make sure you guys are aware of who you're voting for, why you're voting for, and who. And there's 3 choices. There's maybe even more. But just pay attention. Justin Trudeau was in the Windsor-Essex area. But that's not the article I wanted to talk about. Because that's we leave for the other show that we have. It's called Phone Tag News with my host, Kemar Star. But I decided to make this podcast to kind of just talk about more about cannabis-related things and to talk about more recovery-based things. Because it's me, myself, and I. I'm also in recovery as well, too. I'm in a 12-step program. Did you realize this mobile app stuff really doesn't work out the way you want it to? Like, there's no search bar. Anyways, Recovery Day is coming up, or unless it already passed. Hopefully I'm not wrong with it being last. Tornado, municipal elections, protests. So it was one day ago, September 14th, which was there. So at a young age, Kayla Williams spiraled an addiction to numb her emotions, a journey that she recounted towards a crowd of Windsor Lansbury Park on Saturday. I told myself that I wasn't going to try every single drug before college, which I know I never would have made it. Allergic to drugs and impaired driving, 2017. She decided to leave Kitchener and get help. I came to Windsor for a rehabilitation center and I know that I am powerless to drugs and alcohol. 6th annual run partnership with separate. We want to remove the stigma and being hidden away from Recovery Day organizer Wes Motozozo told the Star. We want a face, a voice to be recognized, people, and so on and so forth. To my understanding, Mary Jo Dilkins was the first speaker, and he was there. Every other year that I did go to, he wasn't there for whatever reason. He always came up with excuses. Recovery is an important part in a lot of people's lives. I know in my life it's important. Sadly, there's no 12-step groups where I moved, so that's why I decided to come up with this podcast. To share my experience, strength, and hope with others that they may either relate and get something from this. I know this is just episode 1, guys, and I'm just babbling, but let's hope it works. I didn't really use much hashtags, so we'll see how it goes. But what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to scrape up any resin I have left in my grinder or dabware container and basically just scrape it all up. And I've been debating to either do a bucket or to just do a dab. And I think we're going to just do a dab because it's just so much easier, but it's so sticky. This will probably be my last dab until mail comes in tomorrow. And even when mail comes in tomorrow, it's just going to be flour. Which I'm excited because it's been a while since I've actually smoked. So I tend to use cannabis for multiple reasons. I don't just use it just to get high, guys, or whatever. I use it for many of my medical illnesses, per se. For example, over the last year, I got into a car accident. It's not the first car accident. I got in a really bad car accident back in 2014 as well, too. But I've noticed that my body's taking time to recover. Something as simple as walking to the store ain't as simple as you guys think it might be. For me to do my daily goals, it actually is a workout. For me to go for a walk for a half an hour up and down the block, I get exhausted very, very quickly. It's not because I'm fat, I'm lazy, and whatnot. It's the fact that it takes time and progress to get to where you need to be and where you want to be at. So right now I'm just setting up my little dab rig. Take my last dab of the day. That's roughly all I got left. And then hopefully tomorrow. Another reason why I use cannabis is for sleeping. Because the sleeping medication which I'm prescribed leaves a very funny taste in my mouth. It leaves like a metallic taste. So it's very interesting. Hopefully you guys don't hear how loud this torch is. We're going to just try to heat that up a little quickly. But yeah, no, so they had recovery day over the past couple of days. It was a great success. I went to 2 of them. Unfortunately, me not being in Windsor, I'm unable. Drew Dilkins did read a proclamation that declared September 14th of 2019 as Recovery Day in Windsor. But recovery isn't limited to one day. Vottos, as she said, makes a conference effort to remind herself the happiness she has felt since getting sober. Let's talk about recovery a little bit, and let's talk about 12 steps, and let's talk about relapse a little bit. So once again, the whole platform of Kick the Media is basically our own opinions based on our own experience. There are opinions. They're not nobody else's opinions. Any articles we may get from the news are reliable sources. We get them from a reliable source newscast, and we tend to put the information in the description. But sometimes, as being stoners or potheads, we tend to forget once in a while. Not trying to make a bad name for us, but with time we get really, really busy with our daily lives and just get caught up. So I have heated this up, and I'm going to hit up the resin left over from my dab, and then we'll get started with the show, guys. Resin never tastes the best. Just saying. So that little dab will help me throughout the day. I should be in reality charging my phone, but for whatever reason I'm not. So let's get into a little bit more about recovery and the 12-step base. Me, myself, I've been in and out of the rooms multiple times. I've tried multiple times to get my job back, girlfriend back, wife back, or fiance back. And it never seemed to work until I was ready to do it for me. Not for my son, not for my friends, not for my family, not for my job, not for my union. When I finally took a step back and, for example, back this year around February, went out for my birthday, had a good old time, thought I could handle one or a couple drinks, sobered up. Next couple days later, after I was sober, I got into a car accident. And I felt like that car accident was kind of a message from my higher power, who I choose to call God. And it was a wake-up call as to, look what you need to do, look what you need to move forward. So I did the proper steps as my sponsor suggested and whatnot. Go back to the meetings, pick up a 24-hour chip, and do what you were supposed to do. I've also recently started reading a book. It's called Russell Brand. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's called Recovery. Let's see if I have it here. Technology doesn't always want to work all the time. Oh, wait, maybe it's there. And so far I've read, I think, up to chapter 2. But anyways, it's a recovery book by Russell Brand, and it's Freedoms from Our Addictions. Recovery, Freedoms from Our Addictions. And to be truthful with you, it's such a good book so far. And it lays it out just like the 12 steps of any 12-step fellowships lays it out. Bill W. and Dr. Bob were to be honest with you, very intelligent man, and to come up with an anonymous fellowship to do this for alcoholics and or addicts. You would have to listen to the book. We'll read it. It's a very, very good read. But you have to want to make those changes. So for me, for example, I've gone into step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Sometimes I've stopped at step 4. Sometimes I've even written down up to step 4. Sometimes I went all the way up to step 7 or 8. But I know why I've relapsed. It's part of my journey. I hope that I don't have to experience it again. But like everyone else says, there's always the yets. Just for today. I'm going to try to stay in the moment, try to stay within the day, the 24 hours, and do the best thing I can. I tend to hold the door open for somebody, pay it forward, doing something different for somebody, doing something nice. Now, I use cannabis as a medicine. A lot of people in the fellowships are going, oh, well, that's still a drug, and yada, 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 yada. Well, if I'm a diabetic and I need insulin, it's the exact same thing. Now, can you abuse cannabis? I believe you can. Just like anything, alcohol, tobacco, coffee, Coca-Cola in a can, you can abuse almost everything. The fact is, and what I'm starting to learn, is balance. You got to try to find that right balance in your life and in anything you tend to do. I know for me, to pick up that next drink is to die for. I know I'm powerless over alcohol, and I'm powerless over people, places, and things. But today I don't have to worry about looking over my shoulder. Today I'm able to walk, be happy, joyous, and free. Walk down the street and be happy, be joyous, and be free. If it wasn't for these fellowships, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. I'm going to continue going on with this JJ What's Up topic. And we're going to kind of keep it remotely based on recovery for now, and keep it up on the cannabis talk, because there's a lot of interesting stuff being talked in the cannabis community that's just interesting to see where this is going to go. If it wasn't for cannabis going through the DTs, I wouldn't be here. It's helped me tremendously. And I'm slowly learning about getting fitness, so health. Another thing I'm going to start talking about in my podcast. Hoping to have some guests on. If you guys have any questions, any you want me to talk about, I know usually the first episode of any podcast is pretty boring. But you guys can find us on all social media platforms. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram, Google. Just simply search up Kick the Media. If you want to search up this podcast, I believe you would have to search up Kick the Media, but sometimes you would have to probably type in JJ What's Up on a Spotify or iHeartRadio in order for it to come up. But anyways, you can always just go to www.kickthemedia.com or kickthemedia.ca, and it'll just reroute you to the proper link. Or even search us on Facebook. And if you see us, hit that like button, that follow button. It means a lot. But yeah, I'm hoping to have guests on the show. Hopefully to have a couple people in recovery who are also willing to be in the show and go through their experience, strength, and hope. We only have one day at a time, to be honest with you. And the way I try to take my one day at a time is I make sure anything I did today in my day, did I do anything wrong? If I did, can I make amends for it? And then I continue on with my day. But that's enough about me yapping and talking and dabbling and whatnot. You guys have probably heard enough about me. I'm going to say that for the episode 2, which will be coming out next week, on next Tuesday. So not only do we have a podcast every Saturdays, it's called Phone Tag News with the host, Keemar Star, and your co-host, which is me, JJ Chronic. We now have a third podcast, because we still have What That Taste is, but that's still undergoing some tweaks and whatnot. We're hoping to come up with a show for hopefully by the end of this month for What's That Taste. But we're still in the works in progress for that. And then as well, too, we got Phone Tag News, which is still a kick. We're on season 2 already, episode 2 coming out this Saturday. Interesting stuff. But if you guys have any suggestions,